Right then, this is a quick walk around video, and this is for a Honda CR-V, and it's a 2.2 EX diesel automatic. You see here 63 plate. This car's covered just 37,000 miles. Finished in black with a full black leather interior and very nice condition. Front of the car lovely and clean. Lights and lenses completely clear and intact. The bonnet itself extraordinarily clean, just the odd tiny stone chip. Nothing that detracts in any way. Near side of the vehicle very smooth in the panel work. Inside front alloy, the one takes all the bashing and there's nothing on there at all. Again, merits a mention. Panels really good. There's one tiny, I've got to try and look for it. It's around here somewhere. I think it was just, oh here we are. Just a tiny little pimple, I mean, the size of your fingernail. I mean, it really is very small indeed. But I'm trying to pick up on anything I possibly can. But generally, very nice. Obviously, the near side's one that takes all the kind of brush marks. It's got a few very light marks which will no doubt just polish off. But basically, it's wonderfully clean. Offside the vehicle, lovely and smooth in the panels, really clean. Side rear alloy completely unmarked, as is the near side rear as well. And then finally offside front, absolutely lovely. Two new front tyres going to be fitted to the car tomorrow, by the way, just sort of ought to point out, because there'll be two different tyres, the ones that you see there currently. Let's come into the back of the car now. Cavernous boots, they are absolutely huge. What's really nice as well, it's quite a low lip to get in and out, so people with dogs, even smaller breeds, they can cope really rather well, but it's been kept really nicely. It's coming into the back now, wide opening rear doors, and you see just how much leg room it gets. It's absolutely amazing. And those front seats are set for me, and I'm over 6 foot tall. I mean, there's so much room. I can sit behind myself in effect and have absolutely tons and tons of leg room. The leatherwork is really nice. And that's not always the case with CR-Vs. They are family cars, they can get used very heavily, but this one's got away with it relatively lightly, in all honesty. It's coming in the front passenger side now. Again, all very clean and tidy. 4 sets of original Honda mats fitted to the car. The front passenger seat there, not been given a lot of use, in all honesty. So finally come in the driver's side, again wonderfully clean on the panels, the interior panels rather, and the driver's seat, the one takes all the bashing for a 7-year-old car. It is in amazing condition, something the video doesn't do justice to. This is an EX, so you get that lovely big panoramic roof with the electric blind that opens and shuts as well, all working exactly as it should. So inside the car now, engine's running this section, so the dashboard can be seen illuminated as they always do. Dashboard looks as new, in all honesty, it's absolutely beautiful condition. Sat nav, you can see there, working exactly as it should. If I pop the car to reverse, get that lovely clear gridded parking camera, all working exactly as intended. And if I can do this without wobbling my hand too much, if I press the audio button there, and then you can see, sorry, I put the handbrake on because it won't work otherwise, you can play CDs, but you can also watch films. You must be stationary, because if your handbrake goes off, then clearly it won't operate. But something I've utilised whilst sitting in the car and waiting with the kids on numerous occasions. Dual zone climate control system, everything working as it should, and everything being kept absolutely beautifully. If I come back here, just to take the handbrake off so there is no light on the dashboard there. As you can see, 37,154 miles, and there are no warning lights at all on the dashboard, but it is in lovely condition in here. Finally, just to show you, owner's manual pack, lock and wheel nut key are both here and present with the car. Right then, this is a quick road test video, and this is for a Honda CR-V, and it's a 2.2 EX automatic diesel. This particular car is registered MF63ZDU, and mileage is just 37,148. The reason we do these videos is very simple indeed. It basically means that all our customers get to see, or people that wanting to buy our cars possibly, get to see the cars we're advertising actually in operation, and it is the very car. And the reason for that is basically we know to our cost, unfortunately, just how frustrating it can be to go and see a car which can look great in photographs and in description, only to get there and find out it's got a fundamental problem that shows up whilst you're driving the car. So that's why we do it. I'm doing it on slightly different roads this morning to normal. Not that it makes any great difference, just that they're doing some roadworks close to where we are at the moment for a day or so. So coming to the car itself, been very, very well looked after. With such a low mileage, you'd expect it to be good, and it doesn't disappoint in any way. Absolutely superb. Freezing cold morning this morning. Car started absolutely instantly and settled to a completely smooth, even idle. There are no warning lights on the dashboard at all relating to the engine or any other part of the car. And temperature gauge, and I've been going for a few miles now, running at a third, which is exactly where it's meant to be on a Honda car. The engines are simply brilliant diesel engines. They're everything you'd hope from for a diesel. It's very economical, incredibly reliable. You know, the most reliable diesel in its class by quite a long way. Very, very, very long lasting as well, with just regular maintenance. But on top of that, it's just a lovely, lovely engine to use day in, day out. It's so smooth, so refined, and it's not like a lot of diesels, which are what I refer to as one-trick ponies, where basically they give you an initial thrust, you think, oh, that's good, and then they just die away. These ones rev through, and very, very smoothly indeed. So the engine's absolutely perfect. Attached to that is this lovely slick shifting automatic gearbox, which actually originated back in the Honda Legend, because Honda didn't have a gearbox for a diesel at the time, one that could sort of deal with the torque demands of a diesel engine, which is obviously much more than a petrol engine. So this one originated from the Honda Legend, so it's engineering overkill, but a lovely gearbox, very, very smooth on the shifts, notwithstanding reputation, because they are incredibly reliable. You should just make sure when you drive any car, especially an automatic, that there's no sort of delays or thunks when they go into gear, and there isn't. It's absolutely spot on. Steering of the vehicle, lovely fluid power steering system on these cars. It's, you know, as I say in all of the videos, you know, the CR-V isn't designed to be a sports car. What it is predominantly a family car, but what it's capable of is quite extraordinary, really, because it flows through corners really, really nicely, and the steering gives you complete control over the car. It's really very nicely done. It feels lovely and tight and solid on the road. It tracks absolutely dead straight. There's no vibrations at this speed or any speed up to the legal limits, are all absolutely fine. Chassis of the vehicle, and this is a really good section of road to test it, because it's horrible. Basically, it really yumps and bumps. It's got some really pitted surfaces. What I'm looking for is any kind of nasty kind of knocking noises coming from underneath the car that shouldn't be there, and there is nothing at all. It's absolutely spot on. But the ride is very compliant, beautifully judged, because it's actually quite hard to get the right balance on a car like this. If you go too soft, and it wallows about, and it can make it for a really nauseating ride. But what they've done, the CR-V is the best-selling SUV in the world, so Honda are well versed in sort of, you know, what the majority of their customers want and like and expect from their car, and they just give you a really, really brilliant setup. And that's why we have a CR-V, and why we have an automatic diesel, which is pretty much exactly the same as this in terms of spec. So I'm going to go this way, so it's very glary now. The sun's come down. It's an absolutely beautiful winter's morning. Just going to give the brakes a bit of a shove. So I do apologise if it is glary, but it's worth it just to see the sun. Just get up to speed and check no one's directly behind me. They're not. Really lovely, powerful, solid brake pedal. What I'm looking for on the road tests again is just basically that there's no vibrations or pulsing through the brake pedal, and they're not. They're absolutely perfect. Coming to the interior, first things first, and the thing you tend to sort of notice by not noticing it is the lack of any sort of creaks or rattles in the interior. They are beautifully put together cars. It's a wonderfully well made machine. It's also a very nice place to sit and operate a car from, because it gives you brilliant visibility, lovely driving position. Anyone can just jump in and drive it. It's a simple car, even though it's very highly equipped. It's not been cleaned yet. It's literally just arrived to us. It's going to be cleaned, obviously, but it's not going to need an awful lot because it's in lovely condition in here. As you can see there, sat nav working absolutely perfectly. You've got a dual zone climate control system, all operating exactly as it should. We checked it in a warm workshop rather, and it blows out lovely cold air, and it gives you different options to have different temperatures side to side. Crikey, that sun's very low, so I've got my visor down, but you might not be able to see a thing. But yeah, it's all working exactly as it should. The switch gear, quality of actuation, absolutely beautiful on the CR-Vs as well. The dashboard in front is really simple, easy, legible, instant information there for you, and every dial, every button working exactly as it should. Steering wheel feels great in hand. It's quite small in diameter, which is really nice actually. Makes the car, maybe sort of trick of the mind, but makes it feel more sort of controllable and dynamic than it really is. But it's just such a pleasant car to drive, and it infuriates me when I hear the sort of car magazines going on about, whether it's sporty enough or whether it involves a driver enough. Well, probably not actually, but that's not what the 99.999% of people buy these cars for. They drive them for a purpose, as we do as a family, and it fulfills everything we want absolutely brilliantly. And if I am in a bit of a rush, it responds beautifully. These are, by the way, four-wheel drive cars, the EX diesels. There are no four-wheel drive buttons because it does it all for you. It senses if the front wheels start to spin, automatically brings in the rear wheels to give you four-wheel drive, and it's absolutely seamless in operation. By doing that, of course, it means not running permanent four-wheel drive, which has the habit of using more fuel, chewing up your tyres more quickly, and putting more mechanical stress through the car. So it's a kind of a win-win, and it gives the system its reliability, because we've never so much as put a spanner in one of them. As I said at the start of the video, brief as it may be, it's only to show the car in operation and to feedback anything that might be, of which, as expected, there's nothing at all. It drives absolutely beautifully. As always though, if you've got any questions about the car, don't hesitate, do give us a call.